You bet. Mesquite is right at the ranch, is it not?
It is, and actually I'm across the border into Arizona.
Okay.
I'm a neighboring rancher, and just across the Arizona side. So I was there. I rode all day with the Bundy boys. I know what they're going through, and I know a good share of those riders for most of my life. And I hope I can say just a few words, Glenn,
Sure,
that might soften your heart, that you might.
Oh, hang on just a second. Lavoie, I have Cliven on here in just about 30 minutes.
I'm not sure our hearts are hardened.
My heart's not hardened at all. I spoke to him last night. I asked him to share a prayer on the phone at the end of our conversation. I spoke to him about God. I think the guy he seemed to me to be a very humble, gracious, God-fearing man. That's the impression in fact, let me just read this. I wrote a memo to my staff last night, and I started not at all what I expected. I was expecting a conspiracy-minded, angry man. He is not. He started with an apology, blah, blah, blah. Then he told me a story about Saturday. I mean, he is. The impression I got was all good stuff. So don't think my heart is hardened to him at all.
He's a good man.
You there? Hello?
Yes, my phone phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Darn gravity.
He's a good man, Glenn. And could I share just one experience?
Sure.
And when we left, we were all us riders, when we left the flags to ride to where the cows were, it's about 2 miles. And once we got halfway between where all the people were staged and all the people were rallying, and halfway to where the crowds were and where the federal agents were, nobody could see us riders. Nobody was there. There's no news media. And those Bundy boys said, let's stop. He says, let's say a prayer, boys. And so he said a prayer, and he says, help us be respectful. Let us be kind. And there was nobody there to see that. There's nobody there to know what we were saying. And he says, when we go up there, be respectful. We've come here for our cows, and we're not here to cause a fight and cause problems. But
that's exactly
that's great.
Exactly what I was hoping to find, not what I thought I would find yesterday on the phone,
and not what we found on the video. Sadly,
yeah,
that's
on the video.
The problem.
And Lavoie, I will tell you that the video that is being circulated by some of these other websites is the exact opposite spirit of that. Very, very confrontational. And that's why I expected a different kind of answer. But I know there's nobody showing this side of him. And that's when I talked to Cliven last night, I said to him, I want you to come on. I want you to talk about God and peace and everything else, because he was telling me these things. And I'm like, I'm not hearing that anywhere. And that's important for you to say. And I think there you are.
When we rode up there, there's those two freeways, and we go under the underpass. So we stopped between the two freeways. The federal agents are on the other side. We stopped there between the two, and a lot of people were trying to advance and stuff. We kept calling back, says no, people that were coming off the freeway and stuff, not part of the riders. We weren't armed. I think there were maybe 2 cowboys that had rifle saddles in their boots or their saddles, but we weren't there to cause a fight and to get anybody killed. At the same time, Glenn, those are his cows. When we rode around that corner, we knew that there were federal agents. We knew that there were SWAT facing us. We knew that if we didn't ride up there with the intent that we were coming to get our cows, even at the cost of our lives, that we were going to stand for our personal property rights, that why ride over there just to go say hi and, oh, I'm sorry, then we'll ride out and leave. But we came with prayer, and then when the federal agents finally pulled back and the state troopers came, we said, boys, do not be flipping the birds. Do not be catcalling at those federal agents when they leave.
Then why was there so much of that?
This is great to hear.
But there was a lot of that, though. Did you see?
But you can't. But he can't. You can't control everybody.
The video.
Yeah.
Right. I know that.
You can't see.
I know that.
And so what they didn't even show us that when when those federal agents were finally leaving and the state troopers were leading us up to the trails, we were quiet. We didn't catcall. And we said, no disrespect. And we shook the hands of the state officers that were there, said, thank you, boys. We're so grateful you're here.
That's exactly right.
For being here and standing for the state rights.
And by the way, they did return the cattle, right?
Yes, they did.
They returned 389 cows.
Lavoie, this is exactly... And this is why I want Cliven on today. This is exactly the not the message that is being pushed out by some media sources, and exactly the message. I mean, I know cowboys, I know ranchers, I know farmers, and I know cowboys. They are clear on their rights, but they are polite, decent, God-fearing men.
Yeah.
And as long as it is handled in the way, I mean, that's the King method. What you just described is exactly what Martin Luther King said to do. And that won. It is the gun brandishing. It is and I'm not saying that I saw any gun brandishing, but that's the way it's being described. It is the grab your guns because we're going to go for a fight. That you lose on that one. You lose.
Let me help out just a little bit here, also, Glenn. Maybe maybe I'll diverge just a little bit with you. Is that had we gone up there and said, without being willing to lay our lives down for those cows, for those personal property rights, it would not have happened. When those federal agents saw that we would not leave without the cows. And see, once you have somebody on a horse, it's different than somebody standing on the ground. When somebody's on the ground and they start marching, says you can't cross this line, they can throw you down, zip tie you. But once you're on a horse, you don't take those cowboys off of horses when you're on foot. You can't do that.
No, I'm not saying.
The only way
I'm
they
not.
could stop us was to shoot us.
I understand that, and I'm not. I'm not suggesting that. The difference is you were willing to be shot. You were and lose your life. You were not there. Hang on, just
shoot anybody.
Right, and if you let me finish, you were willing to be shot and lose your life for what you believed in, but you were not willing to shoot.
No.
Right. There's the huge difference.
And it should be mentioned that neither did the federal officers.
Correct.
Neither did they escalate. In fact, the one at the gate was just trying to get people to back off the gate so that they could open it and release the cows back to them safely.
And let me share this with you, too. We understand that those are Americans on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, see, there's a video.
That's the thing.
Lavoie, there is a video out, and I wish you could see it. There's a video out that shows the guy standing at the gate with the officer saying, please, we're going to open up the gate and we're going to release these cows. That's what we're here to do now. We're going to open the gate, but you've got to clear these people out. And the guys at the gate were like, no, you just leave here. You just leave here. And he's like, I have to release the cows.
And I want to do it safely. I
am not trying to escalate anything. He was being very reasonable. And then as soon as they did, they got up on the fences and they started, just mocking and chanting. It was bad. It was just bad.